Ever since the release of The Mandalorian Season 2, we have seen Jon and Dave's work brewing, of course, and exactly how it resonated with the fans very well, and how that really was basically their way of kickstarting this new Star Wars franchise, or universe at that, and really taking a lot of moments from Star Wars Legends and throwing it into the current Disney canon. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. Now, that brings us to what Jon and Dave are currently up to. We know that they are in heavy discussions with the Disney higher-ups, aka the Disney board members, and really working out all these different strategies and plans for the future of the Star Wars franchise and where it's all really heading, right? We know that they're really, developing a big plan to bring Star Wars back to the cinemas with multiple Star Wars movies, a mixture of new trilogies and one-off films, as well as keeping the TV shows intact. Now, with that being said, what's even all the more exciting has a lot to do with what they have planned for Disney Plus in 2024. And I've said this many times, this year and next year are by far the most important years for Favreau and Filoni to prove themselves worthy of really turning Star Wars around for the better. It's all about creating consistency. Consistent, successful shows, one after the other, for at least 2 to 3 years straight. That's what they have to do to totally convince the fans that Star Wars is indeed back in action. Now, that brings us to exactly what they are actually doing behind the scenes with the Disney board members, and how a lot of this has to do with Gina Carano's Cara Dune. So let's get right into this, because I think that's going to make a lot of fans of Carano very happy. Now, given that Disney CEO Bob Iger is planning a big strategy for the roadmap of Star Wars, Jon and Dave are also embracing big plans for the future. Now, it's noted that currently some great progression has been happening with Gina Carano's involvement in the future of Star Wars for Mando Season 4. However, something else has been making excellent progress as well. Jon and Dave recently just convinced the Disney higher-ups to allow them to release a big deleted scene from Mandalorian Season 2 that was shot and kept on the cutting room floor due to Kathleen Kennedy, that is now planned to appear on a special version of The Mandalorian Season 2 that will release on Disney Plus sometime next year, that will include a host of deleted scenes. Further, one of which involves a big scene where Cara Dune exchanges dialogue with Luke Skywalker about his sister Leia and Darth Vader. This was a scene that was partially filmed that is now being saved and put together by Jon and Dave for the extended second season of Mando that will release next year, that will include over 15 minutes worth of deleted scenes. So let me stop right here for a second. This is something that I think is really going to gain more fan interest in not just Mando Season 2, but also in Jon and Dave's reputation. Alright? Because these guys are really just calling the shots, getting Disney to agree with them, and doing pretty much everything that they want to do. And this Cara Dune deleted scene actually makes a lot of sense. I don't know if you guys know this, but in the canon, Cara Dune is very close with Leia. She knows Leia very well, and she is a ranger, right? We know that she's a ranger of the New Republic. And she's very close with Leia, and she's basically the only one of the group in that moment that truly knows who's in that room when Luke Skywalker enters. Din Djarin and Bo-Katan, and of course others in there, all of course recognize that once Luke pulls the hood back, it is somebody mysterious. Only Cara Dune apparently really knew who he was at that very given moment in time. Now, as for Sabine Wren, this is what I meant to say, is that there was supposed to be a moment for Sabine in, of course, Mando Season 2 that got scrapped, that was actually being saved for Mando Season 3 and Star Wars Ahsoka. Now, with that being said and all, what's even all the more exciting about this lost scene that is going to be, of course, included in the 2024 cut of The Mandalorian Season 2, like I said before, hosting over 15 minutes worth of new footage, This one in particular is going to be a very special moment, and this is why. Continuing on. Now, the one with Cara Dune and Luke is described to land around 3.5 minutes long, after Luke enters the control room after destroying a series of dark troopers, just as we see in the final cut, followed by the scene's nature starts off where Cara Dune points out who Luke is. The legend, the very Jedi who ended both Vader and Palpatine. In this scene, however, Luke interrupts Cara Dune, and Luke gives them, and specifically her, the correct story, the full story of what really happened between himself, Vader, and Palpatine in the throne room, about how Vader turned before his death. The scene is about giving Cara the real story and the entire group the whole story and to pass it on. This, guys, I gotta be honest, I love this. Basically how Luke is kind of spreading the legend, or the true story about the legend, of what really happened. Now, in the canon, the overall true story of what happened between Palpatine, Luke, and Vader is a little bit misguided in different regions of the galaxy. Alright, not everyone has the full story about what really happened. And in this moment, Luke gives Cara, the Ranger of the New Republic, the true story. The only problem that I might have with this is, wouldn't you think that if she was so close with Leia, she would have given Cara the whole story straight off? That's my only argument. Maybe Luke did not give Leia the full story for a very long time, who knows? For whatever reason, I don't know. But this in itself is John and Dave's way of showing fans how Luke gives people the true story and how that spreads throughout the galaxy over the course of 30 plus years. So anyways, with that being all done and said, there's a lot of great things coming out of this Mando Season 2 extended cut, so to speak, or, you know, special edition, whatever you want to call it, for 2024. It's not just going to have 15 minutes worth of deleted scenes inserted, but also it's going to have new BTS roles and BTS content. I'm talking about behind the scenes content. And that too, I think, is really going to make a lot of fans, you know, really getting the true story of how certain scenes were built and completed and developed. And that's also very, you know, informative as well. So looking forward to that. There's a lot of great things that John and Dave are doing. It's not just about new shows and, you know, new projects, but also about reinventing existing material. And that's also what they are very passionate about. So I gotta give good John and Dave a lot of credit to them. They really are on their A game, to say the least. They know what they're doing, they have their heads on straight, they know what makes the fans happy, and I think that Cara Dune fans or Gina Carano fans are gonna really respect this, especially if you are really much a Luke Skywalker fan of the character. You're gonna like this scene. So anyways, with that being all said, guys, I'm very much intrigued to hear what you guys have to say about all of this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.